Thank you very much for inviting me, and it's lovely to meet you all. Great honour to be here. My name's Mike Rigg. I'm been appointed as the sporting director here at Al Jazeera on the football side, and it's quite unique for me because this is the first time even though I've been very lucky to have travelled the world extensively in my football career, which is part of the job. It's the actual first time I've worked abroad full time for a club, and being here at Al Jazeera has been an absolute fantastic experience for the last 3 months. Not just because of what's happened on the pitch, but just the way that the whole club has been and the way they've made me feel. So my background, I'm from the northwest of England, not far from Liverpool, a small city called Chester, which is right on the Welsh border. My background is 35 years in English football and Welsh football, so I'm very lucky to have worked both for England and Wales national federations. Very interesting times working with the now national team manager Gareth Southgate, so part of that era. But then predominantly the majority of my time was in club football, working in all 4 leagues from the Premier League down through to the Championship first and second. So I've had a really blessed and interesting experience of working in all different leagues, and my time which really stands out for me the most was the period of 4 years at Manchester City when Sheikh Mansour first bought the club. I was part of that era when the club changed from the previous ownership under the current fantastic ownership of Sheikh Mansour. So honestly speaking, I don't think I could have been treated better. And I'm not just saying that because it's an interview for the club. My experience here couldn't have been better in the attention to detail, the flights, the picking me up, looking after me. Abu Dhabi itself, you probably, I'm still unfortunately getting to see much of the place because I kind of get up in the morning, I come to the stadium, I go to training, I go to the academy, I go back to my room. It shouldn't be a surprise, but the passion. Coming here, it's no surprise to me that the passion on and off the pitch is the same as anywhere I've worked. I mean, football's the same the world over, like everywhere else I've worked. There's a passion to do well, there's a passion to win. What's really pleasing here is with the club's got, under Marcel's, leadership, as the coach, we've got a real clear philosophy of how we want to play in a methodology. It's very much a possession-based game. My last club, it was different. It was probably the quite opposite. My last club in Burnley in the Premier League was a very different style of play and a different coach. Not saying that was wrong, it was just a very different way of working. So what really stands out here is the ability of the players and the team to be able to create through keeping control of the ball and keeping the lion's share of possession. And I think really ultimately that's what the fans want to see. They want to see great football. No, absolutely. A strong part of my background was in youth development. I was an academy manager. I worked in youth development. I worked in coach education and player development for many, many years at national level and club level. So I kind of understand how everybody buys into homegrown talent. There's that passion which, by the fans and people inside the club that you just can't replace. So I had lots of discussions with our chief executive, the board, and understanding, right to the very top how important our academy is. The one thing I do know about youth development is that it doesn't stand still. We have to keep, attracting more players, better players. So supporting the coaches, supporting everything we can do at the academy is a really important strategy of the club going forward. If that message which gets out there to future, Al Jazeera players, join our academy because it's got a good academy, but also be at our academy because it gives you the opportunity to play. You just kind of answered it for me. It is difficult. Patience is not always afforded to people inside football, as you see. So it's trying to get that balance right. And let's kind of just manage everything here. All of football, everywhere in the world, there's highs and lows. And it's us being able to manage, not getting too high when it's good, but not getting too low when it's not. and it's making sure that we're on the right path. We've got great people around the club, from the ownership through to the chairman, to the chief executive, to the coach. You know, and if the player's good enough, he's old enough. And I think that you'll see that with Marcel, that there's players that have come and been in the team, and it's not looking at whether, you know, they're old enough. It's all about whether they're good enough, and managing their expectations of the highs and lows is going to be important for all of us. You know, everything in football just doesn't happen overnight. You know, it took us, if I just relayed the story to Manchester City, it took us, you know, at least 4 years of what we call heavy lifting. You know, the club here is ahead of that. We've tasted success in recent years, and we want to keep building on that. But that takes time. So I think just managing expectations again. Our academy products, that's a long-term plan. You know, we've brought in 2 additional players this transfer window, which have, you know, got in the team and played and had great contribution towards our success so far. But all of this, you know, it doesn't just happen overnight. You know, fans' expectations are never going to be any different. They want to win, and they want to win now. But also, we've got to realise youth development in particular is a nurturing process. It doesn't, you know, very, very rarely do you get a talent that just gets in and stays there. There are ups and downs with these talents, and that's going to be part of the journey. That's the same everywhere in the world. I mean, what I will say is the transfer window and the role of the sporting director is to collaborate and you're part of a team. And this is the thing which I really have to emphasise, which is great here at Al Jazeera. There's a great team of people. You know, this isn't just the sporting director, but also it's everybody from the medical team to HR to the legal team that have had a big part in the negotiations. This wasn't just done by one person. There's a really strong team of people that are all collaborating together. The role of the sporting director is more than just that. It's about being able to collaborate with as many different groups to balance up that long-term plan, that long-term success of our academy, through to kind of helping create this high-performance environment. But I'll stress, this is not just about one person. There's a real strong team of people behind the scenes, from our chief executive through to, as I've said before, the HR team. So if there's one message that goes out there to any young player, is look at the pathway that Ali's gone through, look at how hard he's dedicated his life to actually, you know, professional sport, and then every player now can aspire to that. And hopefully now we've got someone like Ali that's not just a successful goal scorer, he's a really successful leader in showing how to look after yourself, how to approach the game professionally, how he looks after himself off the pitch as well as on the pitch, and what he delivers. And every young player now should be aspiring to people like Ali, as they do to great icons all around the world, whether it's, you know, Ronaldo, Messi, Kevin De Bruyne. Okay, so I hope this translates well, but for me, Ali Kassaif's a throwback. And what I mean by a throwback, it's a compliment. A throwback is to the old days when, it seems a little bit strange, but, you know, leadership was a really important part of football clubs in around the community. And I first was introduced to Ali when we were in the airport at 3 o'clock in the morning on our way to pre-season camp over in Holland. And straight away, even before I'd seen him, I'd said hello to him, he was actually organising everything and getting the group together. And straight away I thought, wow, there's a real leader. So Ali, I think, is not just a great professional. He's a great gentleman, and he's a great leader. And I think he kind of reminds me of some of the players that I'd, you know, been fortunate to work with over many years, who've just got great leadership qualities. So, you know, not only does he deliver it out on the pitch, he's a great leader on the pitch as well. And that's great for young players. It's great for the coach, and it's great for everybody around to see that leadership qualities drive the club forward. It's hard, you know, because you always have to look at the first team on days and weeks, and you're always looking at the academy on months and years. That's the way it works. Days and weeks, months and years. And the challenge is always to try and combine that. You know, it's not easy. It's constant discussions, communications, but you know, I think we've got a very coordinated and aligned group of people inside this football club, and that makes player development a lot easier. I wish I could give that guarantee. I wish I could give that guarantee, but anybody in the world can't give you that guarantee. All we can do is set about our strategy, set about our work in the most professional manner that we can. There's never a guarantee in youth development because there are so many factors which come into play that you can control, of how we coach, how we develop, the amount of hours that we kind of dedication that we put into nurturing and supporting the players. But there's also many other factors that, you know, that it's very difficult. Players have different interests, they go on to different careers. All we can do is have a really cohesive plan here at the club, have the support that we continue to have, that we've had, that this club's had many years from, you know, from His Highness right the way through to the dedication of the board of directors and, you know, the committees that we have here. And all we can do is continue to do our job to try and develop the best we can. But remember, a lot of this comes down to the dedication of the players themselves. And, you know, giving them an opportunity to play in our team is going to be an important part. But, you know, you've seen it already. We've got a coach in Marcel who constantly thinks if you're good enough, you're old enough. Fans are the same anywhere in the world. They want to win and they want an enjoyable experience. It's important fans realise not to get too high on the big, you know, on the highs and too low on the lows. It's a steady line of progress. Now, you know, being there, making that noise, that has a real positive impact on the players. But, you know, manage the highs and the lows is how it is, and, you know, stick with the team. It's been a great pleasure being here, and thank you very much.